Today's country, the big 95.7 WKML, live in Studio 95, or we call it Studio B here. But we welcome you to the show today. We have a couple of newcomers to the business with us today. Branch and Dean, welcome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Nice to see y'all.
So branch&dean.com.
branch&dean.com, but while we're here, it's Branch and Dino. We've already said that. So.
Exactly. Branch and Dean, welcome. We got a nice audience here today. Tell us about yourself. Where's home for you?
Branch and I grew up in the big city of McClenny, Florida, right outside of Jacksonville, Florida. And funny story, we grew up singing together, and I always thought if you're going to be a country singer, you had to be able to sound like everybody on the radio, like the great Steve Branch could, and I couldn't, so I dove into songwriting. Well, Branch had to one-up me one day. And he called me when we were kids. He's like, man, I got this great idea for a song. Anyway, went a little something like this.
Your old lady's gone, she's long gone. Your old lady's gone. It's time to move on and say bye-bye.
So I said, okay. We wrote that song. And kind of went our separate ways. And years later, I don't mean that.
That ain't what made us go our separate ways.
What I mean by went our separate ways musically, but I was up in Nashville, and our producer, Michael Huffman, said, well, I played him a demo of that. He said, I don't know what that is, but get that guy up here. And I said, well, that's Branch. We grew up singing together. Well, we're in the studios going back and forth with harmonies. He said, what is that harmony thing? I said, I told you, we grew up singing together. So the moral of the story is we were Branch and Dean way before we were officially Branch and Dean.
Well, it was an honor to have you, growing up in the same hometown. And you've, by the way, first time to Fayetteville?
First time to Fayetteville, yes.
The way to remember Fayetteville, Fort Bragg in this area, when the president dials 911, the phone rings at nearby Fort Bragg, a Pope Army airfield. Really? And that's a fact.
You guys have
we
the
have
bat
the
phone
most
here?
ready deployable force in the world right out. So you're pretty safe in this backyard.
Well, while you're on that subject, thank you for all that you do serving us out there and serving us.
That's right. Thank you guys so much.
That's a great thing you guys do, and our hats are off to you guys. Thank you.
Right.
That's right.
You got to briefly tell me about your song, The Dash. If it hasn't touched folks yet, when they hear it, it will touch you.
Yes, sir. Like you said, it's called The Dash, and it's very special to me because I had a son that passed away with cystic fibrosis. And, man, my son taught me how to live. He really did. He was my hero. And when he passed, I called the cystic fibrosis chapter in Jacksonville, and Dean called the one in Nashville, and we had this idea of the Dash song, and we wanted to donate something to cystic fibrosis to help the cause. And I told him my son wanted to be a spokesperson, and they made us national ambassadors for cystic fibrosis.
That's right. We just became national ambassadors, and, watching my brother here go through mortal hell with that, his son Theron was my family too, grew up together, but I can't tell you out of something so terrible what it's meant for our foundation to be built on that, to do what music's intended to do, and that's change lives. We have had thousands of emails. My daughter has CF. My grandma taught me how to live my dash, and that's what we all got into music for, is to touch people's lives. And we've got a very real story for us, but it's humbling because no matter what, the Dash will be Branch and Dean. No matter if we get to be superstars or just it ends here. We've changed lives, and that's what music's for. That's what it's about.
That's right. And we had a video that we put out, and it's got pictures of my son in it, and that thing's got 575,000 views on it already.
Wow. Well, we sure are glad to have you.
We're
Sing
glad
some
to be
music,
here.
touch us with it if you will. Branch and Dean.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.